Welcome to Young Creative Hustlers, a podcast for artists who want to learn ways to make a living by what they love to do. I'm Josh Williams, a musician and filmmaker, among other things, and I'm looking to do the same. Join me on my journey as I talk with other creatives and share my story about how to be a young creative hustler. Hey, welcome to Season 1, Episode 3 of Young Creative Hustlers. I hope you've enjoyed the episode so far. Today, I have someone who's not named Aaron as our guest. His name is Joél Cassanova. He is the owner of BeatHunter. BeatHunter Dance basically offers hip-hop classes that are personal, professional, family-friendly. Joél is the creator and founder of it. I met him maybe about 3 or 4 years ago through his brother, and I've seen his growth as a creative and also as a business person throughout those years. So I really wanted to get him on the podcast to share his perspective on dancing and how you can make a living doing that. So here's my interview with Joél Cassanova. I'm here in Joél Cassanova's house. We are straight up in his house.
We talked about the secret, bro. You're not supposed to say where you're recording. Stop
yes, I said, yeah, we're in his house right now. So if you hear people coming in and out, it's because he invited people over. So we may even have a little bit of a live audience. First of all, like, how did you even get into dance?
So I started dancing when I was 11, or let me say I was introduced to dance when I was 11.
Okay.
Because we switched churches and they had like a kids choir, but that was the first year when we moved in. That was the first year that they added like a dance team. I had no idea what dance was or what it was about or anything.
Yeah.
And so I was like, sure, why not? Yeah, like a dance team. YOLO. I mean, that wasn't a thing back then, but like, I was like, whatever, let's do it. So it was really funny looking back because I can't imagine my life without dance. And so like knowing that when I was 11 years old, it was like, what is dance? And like, I joined this dance team and it was like, I had no idea like what kind of trajectory that would send me on. But yeah, so it was a church dance team.
Okay, so from there, what kind of happened after that? You got on the church dance team. What was that experience like?
Yeah, so we did like performances, like a couple performances. I'm not sure if it was before or after the performances, but they brought in this guy named Fenton Fulgham. He owns a dance studio in Plano, Texas. And so what happened was he came in to like help make choreography for the team. And so when he came in, he basically handed out cards and was saying how he was going to start a dance studio with the youth pastor.
Yeah.
So he was like, hey, here are our cards, check it out. And so at that point I had been officially introduced to dance and I was like, this is the best thing on the planet. So I took the card and I brought it to my mom and I was like, Mom, we got to do this. Like this is it.
Yeah.
This is life. Actually, kind of backstory, the reason why we switched churches is because my parents got divorced. And so mom was a single mom. And so me and my single mom went to the dance studio and like we opened the door and like the dance prices like punched us in the face on the way in. We're like, oh shoot. So like we couldn't afford it basically. So we basically raised money from 11 to 13, and 13 I actually joined the dance studio and got onto the competition team.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. So
awesome.
Rags to riches story. Right
Yeah, a little bit. You said that, you had that moment when you were like, yeah, I want to do this. Was that like, was there a moment later where you were like, I want to make this my living? Like, I want to do this as a living? Or is it kind of like, I kind of like doing this?
I had no kind of career plan in mind at that time. I was just like, this is amazing. And then I switched studios later on to another studio, Hip Hop Nation with Tangi Lockman. And so I was with like people like Eric Mitchell, Ian McClayton, shout out to all those guys, Tyree Holmes. I got to give credit because all those guys were like, we're going to do this professionally. This is what we do.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's amazing. And so I was like, that's when I was like, I didn't know that was a thing. I didn't know it was like, you could, and I love it with all my heart, but I didn't know it was like a career thing. And so when they said that, I was like, well, shoot, I'm going to do this too. So it wasn't like there was no like planning involved, which probably is not the best, but like there's no planning involved.
You kind of just stumbled into it.
It was just kind of like, I love this. And people were like, I'm going to do this as a job. I'm like, man, I'm going to do this as a job too. Like, you're not going to leave me with like in the dust, So they had like plans to like move out to LA together and caravan. And I was like, I'm going to go too, And so it wasn't until one day we went into the studio and Eric Mitchell would teach 2 classes back to back. And one day he came in and he was like, I got nothing for tonight. So I'm going to choreograph for the second class, but you are going to choreograph for the second class. And I was like, because I'd never choreographed before ever.
Whoa.
Yeah. And so he was like, well, you better get to it. And I was like, oh shoot. So I choreographed a piece. Like we were in like this super sketchy warehouse. So I went to like the alleyway and I choreographed a piece. And then I came in, I taught the first class and people loved it. And I was like, oh, it was like I've never done this before. And it's usually people are like, oh, you have some, because they're all older than me. So they're like, I expected some kind of feedback, but they're like, no, that was dope. I was like, dope. I didn't know that was the response.
I did the thing.
Yeah, I did the thing, and the thing happened because I did the thing. And so Tangi was the director of the studio, and so she was like, have you ever thought about doing this like as a job, like teaching class? And I was like, no, but I was like, I didn't know like getting paid to do what you love was a thing. Because like I came from like a dance studio background. So it's like, no, you like this thing, so you have to pay to do this thing. So now it's like, what do you mean I can get paid to doing this? And like, even today, it's still like a struggle. Like, oh man, I got to charge people for this. But
so backtrack a little bit. Talk to me about, I know you've kind of danced in a lot of different studios or a lot of different environments. Can you walk me through your different experiences in the different environments and what'd you learn from each of them?
Okay, so started in Revelation Dance Studio. That was the first one with Fenton Foljam.
And what was the style of dance for that?
It was all hip hop.
Okay.
So immediately introduced to hip hop from the get go.
Okay.
It was only until like one of my last 2 years. And so also hip hop, but also competition and studio hip hop.
Okay.
Not necessarily street hip hop because there's a difference. And so I was introduced to that and competition. So it was like the very first thing I learned from Revelation was like to be clean, like body control. Like I loved it, but I was like, one of my friends has this term called white girl syndrome. No hate, but and so it was like you love this, but you have no control of your body, so you're just kind of flailing.
Yeah.
So Puerto Rican Joel had white girl syndrome for starting out. So no shade. Let's hear it for white girls.
I think we all start there.
Yeah. So it was like Fenton was like, you will control your body. There's no other option. So it's like control of, like this refinement of my movement. Then I moved to Hip Hop Nation, and that was more improvisation, freestyle, career, street. So it was kind of like going from like a studio to like a step up movie. We were in, like legit. We were like in like Princeton, Texas, and it was like this old country road, and like it was like no air conditioning, no heater. It was a warehouse, and they put like stuff on the floor so we wouldn't slip. That's it.
Yeah.
Like it was like we had like a garage door to get into the alley. It was like straight out of a hip hop step up movie, not hip hop movie. And so that one was more freestyling and integrating my personal style into freestyling as well as choreography. Because like all these guys were like. They're pushing themselves like daily. Yeah. And so like I was now surrounded with these people. Like it's like me liking to work out and then like stepping into like a gym where people are like professional bodybuilders. Yeah. And I'm like, oh shoot, like these guys are the real deal, you know? So I'm like, so just being in that environment helped me freestyle better and like expand and grow my boundaries, but also learn to choreograph, which is another boundary.
Yeah. Okay. So all that's kind of culminated to where you are now. And so what exactly is BeatHunter?
BeatHunter Dance is a headquarters for dance innovation. There's some years between leaving Hip Hop Nation and doing the things that I do now. So I moved to Virginia and I, auditioned for a company and got in, but then God was like, no. And I was like, huh. And then I moved, I went to college. So a lot of different things, and all of the background that kind of like rolled over into where I am now is basically like this new perspective on dance itself. Okay. So a lot of people try to like innovate within like a specific venue. And so mine is a whole lot more, I guess, intellectual and more like general.
Do explain.
For example, I have the personal kinetic curriculum. Okay. And so that's like a new way to look at dance itself, or like my method of it. So even though I have exercises that train you in dance and like help you master like your body, it's a whole lot more mind than it is body. Like the first step is musicality, and so it's like a lot of people throw around this word, but like I define it in a specific way, and I teach it in a specific way. Okay. So it's like dancers dance to a track, right? And there's like a bunch of things happening in this music, but you can break it down into multiple things. So I describe musicality as like music is like a buffet. Mm-hmm. So you have like chicken, potatoes, spaghetti, lasagna, soup, right? But you can take all those different things and like throw them into like a blender and you could like drink it. And it's like, I would judge you hardcore because that's disgusting. But like you usually like put onto a plate and decide what you're doing. So like musicality is like, I teach people through the personal kinetic curriculum. Okay, listen to the music and make specific choices. Do you want soup? Do you want soup first? Do you want soup at all? Are you going to move to the lyrics or are you going to move to the bass? Are you going to move to this or are you going to move to that? So it's like, think about what you're doing. Don't just dance and kind of like jump on the bandwagon of this is how we dance because it's been around for forever. Mm-hmm. So I innovate how I teach, I innovate dance itself, and I use that to teach people how to be themselves through dance instead of just learning a style and being a style incarnate. It's like, no, you should be yourself in movement.
So basically you teach classes and then you've developed your own curriculum that you teach people on how to basically master their body.
Yeah. And that's kind of the core right now, as well as like hip hop classes that I teach, but it's so much more. Mm-hmm. There's like a blog. I want to start my own podcast. In fact, there is, like I'm starting like an online community of dancers that are like connected past borders. So it's like the tagline I have is like resist the divide. So we're divided by, I'm in this studio, you're in that studio. I'm in this state, you're in that state. I'm in this time zone, you're in that time zone. I'm like, screw all of that. Like we're going to connect regardless of all of that and help each other. And then there's like another like different, like a dance product. I can't really say it because it's kind of like a secret right now. When we're recording this, but like it's like a product that I teach people with. So it's like, there's like dance, but it's like we're innovating dance.
Wow.
We're innovating how people think of dance and how they think of themselves in relation to dance.
That's great. Dude, I love that. And when I saw the videos for the curriculum, I was like, okay, yeah, Joél's legit. Like those videos were so dope. I'm like, okay, yeah, he's really presenting himself in a different light now. And I respect you so much for that, man.
Yeah. Which is really funny because those videos, those like, the level that they're at. So shout out to Josh Olsen who made those videos. Josh. And it was so spare the moment because like he's like, hey, I got this new lens, guys, and he recorded and he posted it on Facebook. And I was like, hey, this is dope. We should make a video together. He's like, I'm gonna be in Virginia Beach this weekend. I was like, let's do it. And that was a conversation. It was like, let's go. And so we had like some like Skypes or we use Facebook Messenger, but like we like Skyped and like talked like on video chat to talk about what it is that we're like looking for in the video aesthetic. But it was just like, let's do it. And we did it. Speaking
of that, like how important has collaboration with other artists been in your growth as a dancer and just in general?
Whoa. So important. Like beside like one of the venues of dance innovation is collaboration through BeatHunter Dance. So like a lot of people like the norm is basically what we're fighting against. So we have the norm of like, oh, I go to X dance studio and you go to X dance studio. So we don't talk unless we're at a competition and I'm like trash talking you. Or what really happens is like, I'm like, oh my gosh, kill it. You're going to do great. And then talk behind your back. like mad shade. Right. And so it's like, I'm like, no, we need to work together as dancers because we're part of the dance world. Like we're all connected. Where I am as a dancer is like, I teach and I create and I do all these things, but I need to like intake. So I was I did this project with Sean Labadie, who owns Inspire Arts Collective. And so she basically brought dancers together to create a piece. And so collaborating on that piece with them was like, it helped her because it was for her showcase, but it was so much more for me than it was for her. Like so much more because like I was like dead inside and I was like output all the time. And so like I was still doing output, but it was like creativity, not for my job to get paid. It was creativity because I wanted to.
Yeah.
And so like that, using that creative muscle in a different area and collaborating with those people, it was like, it just like breathed life into me. And so I'm still kind of like on that high. And that was like, I think 2 years ago. Like just that, like that breath of air, like has taken me like so far.
Yeah. That's great, man. So now on to some more nitty gritty things. So
yike.
I know. So like, what are some practical ways for dancers to make money? Is it all like, I'm going to be in this music video, like working in a troupe, touring? Like, how do you make money as a dancer, man? But I know you obviously have the teaching route as well, but can you kind of talk a little bit about that based on your experiences?
Yeah. So, well, first of all, you should never do it for the money, Josh. You just live off of the audience and the claps and the applause.
Clout.
Yeah. So like, fam, I gotta eat. I like, so a lot of people when they're younger and they get into dance, they're like, I don't care about the money. I don't care about this stuff. And it's like that, it sounds selfless, but like, it's just naive. Like you need to eat, you need to pay bills. Like you need to do these things, even like just for like simple pleasures of like, oh, I'm out with friends and I can't afford this because I'm a dancer. Like we're at Cookout, fam. Like a whole meal is like $2. Like chill out. Like you need money.
Yeah.
Like money like is the currency that we use. And maybe in the future it's like Bitcoin or whatever, but like that's still money,
Lord.
So like the future, right?
The future.
A lot of times, again, we have this mentality. So like I said about the competition, like I'm an X studio, you're an X studio. Another like simple narrative is like, okay, well, you gotta get booked. And it's like, what does that mean? Right. So it's like auditioning for plays. I auditioned for Guys and Dolls for VSC. Right. And there's all these other dancers who are like, yeah, this audition and this audition and this audition. It was like my first audition. I was like, what? I didn't know this is like a thing. I mean, I did, but like I was my first one. So I was like so new to it. And so then it's like touring with artists or being on a troupe or being on a dance company. So some dance companies, when you first start off, like you have to pay them to learn. And then as you become you're like a trainee and then you become a company member.
Okay.
And that's when you get paid. So
Weird.
A lot of people don't like to say that because it's like, hey, pay us to be on our company. And it's like, no, I don't want to do that. But some companies immediately say, hey, we'll pay you to do this stuff. But I like to encourage dancers to make money off of their art because it's like you're making money off of stuff that you do, but it's not going to be as like glamorous or as clean cut as you want. So not morally though. Like a lot of people are like, well, you got to do what you got to do. So be in this like porno. And I'm like, fam, you have standards. Like, don't do that to yourself. But it's like I did a concert with a friend of mine, Corey Thompson, Thomas, and so he's a rapper, and so his rapper name has changed, and so we did background dancing, and so we like rehearsed the background dancing in his living room. And so it's like, no, we're not in a dance studio. No, there's not like professional dancers. We had some like high school kids from his church, but it's like, I got paid for that. And it's like, not only that, but I got paid for doing what I love and helping out a friend. Yeah. So it's like,
you guys did a great job, by the way. I was there. So
yeah.
It was awesome.
So thank you. It was kind of stressful, low key, because we're like, oh crap, we don't know what we're doing. But then it's like, we did it. So it's like look for collaboration venues and look for, places that will make you money. So like, be like practical and logistic in that way. So it's like, I had 2 birthday parties that I did yesterday. One was at my studio. One was out on location at like this like hotel. Yeah. And so it was like, one was like a 5-year-old's birthday party. Well, he turned 6. And then one was like a 50-year-old birthday party. So one was like me hosting the party and saying, hey kids, have fun. And the other one was me performing and being entertainment. And so it's like, those are random things that I'm like not super passionate about. Like my passion in life is to throw birthday parties. Like, no, but those are things that make me money. And it's like, I'm still doing what I love and I'm still bringing people happiness, but it's something that's practical, So like I do a wedding choreography, so I did, I'm performing in a wedding later this month and then I'm doing choreography for another couple's first dance. And so it's like simple things that it's like people will pay to do this. So like think of the logistical things, like have your core stuff and then make a list of like, what do people pay for when it comes to dance? Yeah. Like entertainment, parties, weddings, venues. I did like, if you're creative, hopefully you're creative if you're a dancer, but like low key, that's a whole other topic. But if you make choreography, there's like a choreographic process, so you can charge for your choreography. And then there's a performance process. So if you don't perform, but you do the choreography for someone else, there's a rehearsal process. You can charge for that. There is a performance process. There's a performance fee. There is a, birthday party, like even like music videos. So I do choreography for CBN. They have the Superbook like Sunday school curriculum.
Yeah.
And so I do choreography and then I also dance in their music videos.
Ah, cool.
And so I get paid twice because I do choreography and I do the actual video. So it's like, am I super passionate about making Sunday school videos? Well, no, but I'm super passionate about dance. And I'm like not limiting myself to just, okay, well, I'm not a background dancer for Taylor Swift. Well, sorry, I'm like Justin Timberlake, Missy Elliott, all these people. They're like, I'm going to audition for this thing. And it's like, I did background dancing for change, Corey. Was that the biggest gig in the world? No, but I got paid for it.
Yeah.
So it's like you're getting the resources to, and then also be smart about your money so that you're not just like, I got paid $200, so I'm gonna blow it within the next 2 days. And it's like so that's the other half. But think outside of the box when it comes to making money.
Yeah. So are you seeking out, well, of course I know you're seeking out, but like, are you looking at forums? Like, are this kind of word of mouth, or are you like pitching your services to people? Like, how are you going about doing this?
Both.
Okay.
Both, definitely. There are people who get word of mouth. Okay. Here's another side topic, right?
Okay.
So when you post, so one half is I post about the stuff that I do and I have it on my website and I suggest it when people, and I give out my cards like, hey, I do X, Y, and Z, but you don't know that people know about you. So I'm like posting and I have people that I know follow me like on Instagram or Facebook.
Yeah.
But I don't know that they see my stuff because they're not like commenting and liking and like direct messaging me like, hey, that was super great post, blah, blah, blah. Like,
yeah.
But they still see it. It's still information in their brain. So the 50th birthday party I did last night, this other lady, Iris Good, she gave my information to this lady because the lady was looking for someone to dance at, like break dancers for this party. And so I didn't know, like, I think I've met Iris like once in person, and I know we follow each other on like social media, but I didn't know she like knew who I was so that I could do that.
Ah, okay.
And so she was like, hey, I'm looking for a breakdancer, like the lady. And then Iris was like, oh, you should look up Joél Cassanova. And so I'm like, oh shoot, like I just got this gig from this lady I don't even know. And so it's like both sides. It's like some like, we don't like to talk about people what we do because it seems like, oh, hey, I'm trying to make money, like I'm desperate.
Yeah.
And then we also don't like to post because then we don't get like feedback from it. So we're like, both sides are like failing.
Yeah.
When in reality, you need to push into both. Because one side is like, we'll build you as like a business person because like dance is like an art, but you need to have the business side. And then like, you need to like push yourself to like get past those boundaries. But then the other side is like, people see the stuff that you post, even if it's not like, they're not like blowing up your feed and you're getting 60 million likes.
Yeah. So how do you market yourself? I know you said you got to build the business side, but like what type of things should you be posting as a dancer? Like just cool, like videos of you just dancing or talking about why you love dance or a little bit of both, or
say I'm a quote, just dancer, right? So I don't choreograph, or I do choreograph, but I don't have like a studio or a place that I'm trying to do it in. You need to have personality. And like people already have personality,
yeah,
but they don't know how to do it on social media.
Oh man, I've definitely seen you in action,
Yeah.
bro.
Yeah.
Look, guys, we were at a concert and Joél gets out into the crowd and starts like hyping the crowd up. They weren't even paying him to be there, but he was like out there in the crowd, like hyping everybody up. And he had like, they were doing like dance off, and then a whole group of people got together. Jonathan was there. He's over here in the corner, but yeah, we were all there. It was wild, man. It was crazy. And I definitely see that your personality shining through in that.
Yeah, thanks. And so I'm actually trying to get better at that personally, because like I'm like so focused on the business side. Like when I started BeatHunter, I was in college. And so I was like, okay, what do business people do? So I'm like, I'm a business, be the business. And it's like, chill, chill. It's like you have a business. Yeah. And people will know about it. But like on social media, by being on social media, just in general, the way I see it, it's like you're telling people that you are a person that they can talk with. So like if I called up my friend like Sarah and she was like, I apologize for not, returning your call. I was very inundated with, job things. And so of course. And so it's like, people don't talk like, they're like, hey bro, I was like slammed at work. So I'm so sorry I didn't return your call. So like be like that on social media, even if you're a business. Like don't like be unprofessional, but like just like talk how, like use emojis, like talk in slang, like talk how people usually talk on social media, but you're just representing your business instead of you. But so say you're just a regular choreographer person, right? And you don't have a studio. So like you can talk about what you believe in, but like your personality is what people will be drawn to. And so when they see, oh, I like this person, people will listen to people that they like. So instead of being like, this is my deep theology about why I love dance. And it's like, you need that. It's not theology, but like, it's like my worldview behind dance. And it's like, you need that for yourself. But then people will start listening to that when they like you. Because it's like, if I'm talking to someone that I don't like, even if what they're saying is true, I'm like, I don't like you though, so I'm not gonna listen to you. It's like I don't want to listen to you.
I don't know you like that, man.
But it's like, yeah. So basically, like post videos because people want to see videos. So like do both. So like people are like, oh man, this is a cool dance video. Have you seen this?
Yeah.
Oh, this is my friend. And then on top of it, it's like you're also showing people your skill. So
Right.
like kind of like double task.
Would you suggest covers? I saw that you did a cover of Hamilton, and I was there when you did it live, but I saw the recording. I was like, this has 17,000 views. Dang.
Yeah.
These are people being exposed to what you do. So, I mean, obviously, I think that's a good route to suggest.
Yeah. Well, I mean, even like the K-pop world, covers are like a total normal thing to learn choreography and do. But my cover was like, I did my own like original. Like,
yeah, so I was thinking about
Hamilton.
it in the music terms, like, he did a cover, but he just danced to the song.
Yeah. So, but it was a musical, so it's like, what's in the cover? I don't know. It's like a weird gray area. But
well, you weren't singing it, so
yeah, true.
So I guess it's
that
choreography.
Sucked. But
stay in your lane.
No, it was actually interesting because it can be as strategic as this, but it doesn't have to be. I think covers are great. Like I was like really into 21 Pilots, and then I did a song to 21 Pilots where I was in the car. It was to car radio, so I was like, I'm dancing in a car radio, and that's when they were like blowing up. And then even Hamilton, it was huge. It was huge back when I did it, and so like people were looking up Hamilton. Hamilton was like a topic of conversation,
Right.
So like unintentionally, it would have been great if I would have like thought this through, but like unintentionally, I like rode a wave of Hamilton's popularity when I did this cover.
Right.
So I think in the future, like when things are big or when things are popular, like don't sell out. Like don't just do stuff that's popular. Like do stuff that is original and stuff that you want to do. But like don't be afraid to like, hey, this new song by,
Lil Nas X.
Lil Nas X. Like, oh man, he has stuff besides Old Town Road. Like this comes out. Like he just dropped a music video for Panini.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's kind of dope.
Yeah, so I haven't seen the thing, but I saw the trailer. Did you see? It was like, all animated and stuff.
It's like it's basically like his I think it was an MTV performance, but like in like a heightened version of it essentially. It was good. Yeah.
Oh, that's dope. Yeah, I gotta look it up and see the full thing. But like when people are like say that song blows up, right? Or probably has by now because Lil Nas X. But like when people are doing that, like okay, actually Lil Nas X did this. So he like TikTok was like a huge thing. And so he made the choreography on TikTok. And so people were already like crazy about TikTok. And then they're like learning a dance to his song on TikTok. So he didn't even have to try. You know, it's like people are going to look it up. So it's like you can put yourself in a position where people will come to you by riding a wave. Because people are like, oh, this is popular. Like this is trending. This is whatever. And so you're like, yo, I made the song to Old Town Road when it just blew up.
Yeah.
And so people will be looking up Old Town Road. So they're more likely, there's more of a chance that they will see it because they're already looking it up.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Mm-hmm. That's good. Yeah. Ride the wave, man. Ride the wave. How do you get better at the craft of dancing? Like, how do you improve on what you're doing? I'm talking a little voice, that big voice. Yeah.
Yeah, because we're talking about the craft.
The craft. The artist take. What's your take on that, man? How do you get better?
here's what you don't do.
Oh, okay. Oh.
I have this huge frustration with class. Okay, so people are like, hey man, you come to class, you got to take class. And people are like, oh man, you got to grow, so you got to take class. And like when we say that, we mean like go out and learn choreography from class. And that's great, but like there's so much more to dancing than class.
Okay.
And choreography. Like challenge yourself when you create. If you haven't created choreography, create choreography. Just do it. The first one is going to be crap. Like promise. You know, but like
Bet.
That's the point. Like if you don't do that first one, then you're like, oh, I got hired to do choreography, so my first one is gonna be crap, and I'm getting paid for it. Hopefully, ... You know, and so if you haven't made choreography, make choreography because you are an artist, you are a dancer, you can make choreography. Period. Like fight me on that. You know, but if you already made choreography, give yourself challenges. So like even for class. That I teach, I challenged myself. I'm going to do everything from the waist down.
Okay.
So nothing is going to be from the waist up. Everything is going to be basically footwork. I put myself in a place where I could kind of take those risks because I was teaching class and it was just like a chance for my students to grow. But it was a challenge for me because I'm like, as a choreographer, I set my standard at this is going to be good choreography. But then I also gave myself the limit of it's all from the waist down. So I had to make choreography from the waist down that was interesting, you know, and push myself in a way that was like, or like, I'm only going to start everything with my right hand. So like put yourself in a box to figure out your way outside of the box.
Okay.
Yeah. So like, that's one thing.
Right. What ultimately do you want BeatHunter to become?
Oh, Josh. So to like narrow it down would be hard, but I kind of want it like BeatHunter Dance is like an umbrella company, right? So I'm like Disney, right?
One day
Riding that Disney wave because it's still going since like the 1900s, right? It's like 1901, Disney was created. Like, oh, that's totally not when it was created.
1920s, I think.
But it's fine. Are you serious? Oh,
or maybe 1930s. It's one of the two.
But anyways, the point is like Disney is like an umbrella company. And so I basically... BeatHunter is an umbrella company in the same way. So I have multiple things that I want to do. I have this curriculum and I'm going to teach the curriculum. I like to have like a training facility for the curriculum.
Okay.
So it's like people come and train in this curriculum. And then like I have like a university like setting, like a school setting for people who want to be educators. Because no one's like teaching people how to teach unless you like go to college.
Oh.
So I'll probably make it like a certification maybe to say that you're legit, but like I want to teach people how to teach. Then I want to teach people how to teach my curriculum and teach people how to teach like this other product that I cannot name, the product that shall not be named because it's secret right now. You know, it's like
secret.
And then it's like, there's like regular hip hop classes that I teach. The main thing I want to do is touch these areas, right? So like I want to have a Midas touch in the way that like I can touch this area, but it's something that people can bounce off of.
Okay.
So it's not just like, hey, I have all my fingers in all these pies, so I'm getting as much funding as possible, which I need it, you know, at least right now. But it's like, I want to make it to the point where people are benefiting more than I'm benefiting from these different avenues.
So where can everyone find you and learn more about BeatHunter and learn more about you?
The website, BeatHunterDance.com. So BeatHunter dance.com.
Okay.
I just got a business number so people don't blow my personal phone because I'm not about that life.
Come on, bro.
Our business number is 757-542-5116.
You literally just read your hand.
Yeah. Because I was like, I'm not going to mess this up.
Oh, that's funny.
And then, yeah, Instagram, Facebook, social media, all the kinds of things. My main thing is Instagram.
Yeah.
_ BeatHunter.
Joél, it has been a pleasure having you on the podcast, man.
Yeah, same.
Guys, seriously, he's a beast. I'm going to link some of his videos below. Yo, so I had so much fun in that episode. We happened to be talking for a few hours after that. Had a great time. If you enjoyed this episode, please leave a 5-star review. It helps out a lot. And just share it with someone you think might need it. And if you have any questions, just email me at youngcreativehustlers@gmail.com. And I'd love to hear from you. See you on the next episode.